Hey guys, hugely popular for us Monstera lovers is none other than Monstera species Peru, otherwise known as the Monstera Karstenianum or simply Monstera Peru. When it comes to Monsteras, there is no more interesting foliage, especially when we're talking about texture, than this plant right here. The Monstera Peru is native to, well, you guessed it, Peru, obviously. This plant is extremely versatile. It will climb or trail. Either way, it's going to look great. The texture and coloring on the foliage of the Monstera Peru delivers a big punch and impact reminiscent almost of a succulent foliage in a way, because it's very sort of thick and has this sort of leathery feel to it. Unlike something like the Monstera deliciosa, the foliage on the Peru is solid and it won't develop any sort of windows or splits or leaf fenestrations over time. It's just simply solid foliage. Once considered pretty rare, these plants are relatively easy to find and they are definitely not as expensive as they once were. Regardless, if you can get your hands on one of these plants, I would highly recommend it. In this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the crucial care tips you need to know, so stick around. Thanks for checking out this video. I'm Tyler, and if you like what you're seeing or you find this video to be useful, give it a thumbs up, or better yet, you can subscribe to my channel. Now, generally speaking, these plants are pretty easy to care for. There are some special considerations, so be sure to listen up for those. Starting with light, the Monstera Peru likes medium light or bright indirect light. That means in setting it from a south-facing window, it will be very happy. Ideally, you would provide these plants diffuse or dapple light, just like they would in their natural habitat, with that sort of filtered light coming through the forest canopy. It is important to keep these guys away and out of that direct, harsh sunlight, because that ultimately can damage their foliage. In terms of watering your Monstera Peru, they don't actually need to be watered as often or frequently as you would, let's say, your Monstera deliciosa, because of their foliage and how I was describing it as a little bit thicker and succulent light. The foliage actually retains some moisture, and hence, less watering is actually the way to go. Let the soil dry out completely before giving your Monstera Peru a good watering, or another kind of way you can go about it is look for signs of dehydration in the leaves. If they start to curl, then that's a good indication that it's time to give your plant some water. Depending on the quality and the amount of bright indirect light your Monstera Peru is getting, you can maybe want to gauge in and around watering this plant every 2 weeks. One really important tip when it comes to the Monstera Peru is humidity. They do love some extra humidity, so you're definitely going to want to keep this plant in and around the 50% humidity mark, but if you can do 60 to 70, then all the better. You can pick up a hygrometer and a humidifier to really ensure that it's getting the humidity that it needs. Another important consideration for this plant is to use bark in the soil mix. You're really going to want to think of using like an aeroid type soil mix, so that the root system on this plant is able to breathe and you have really good drainage as well. Now, you can definitely fertilize these plants as well. You can go about it by using a diluted liquid fertilizer, or maybe perhaps some fertilizer slow release pearls. That's what I have gone ahead and done, and I've included that in the soil mix that I used, and I actually potted this plant up in a recent vlog. So if that's some interest to you, I'll throw up a link so you can check that out, and yeah, take a look. If you're interested in more content like this, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up or leave a comment down below to really show me some love. Click the bell for alerts and notifications for future content. Also, when it comes to propagation, these plants are relatively easily propagated. You can use a root cutting and put that in some water, and that's basically the easiest way to go about it. And actually, let me just grab, this is a Monstera that I've cut, done a root cutting and put it in some water, and you can see there's a ton of root growth, and propagating this type of Monstera is just as easily done. Well, that's it for me. Oh yeah, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, or better yet, hit that subscribe button. Miss you guys already. Until the next one.